What up? It's your boy, Tunnel Vision. We back for another one. Before we get into it, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and share the videos. Oh, man. Haney's father was on Trill Boxing today, and going back and forth with Black Fight Fan. And he said something that made me think about, hey, is Devin Haney gonna stay on DZON, and is he gonna stay with Eddie Hearn? And the thing that he said is like, yo, the only reason we signed with Matchroom or with Eddie Hearn was to get the Lomachenko fight. That he believed that, he was made to believe that they could get the Lomachenko fight. That's the reason that they signed to him. It's like, we signed to him to get that fight, and we believed that was going to be possible. And Top Rank has been doing, had been doing business with Eddie Hearn. Couple of fights that they actually gave to Lomachenko. They actually even brought Lomachenko over, versus Campbell, paid him some good money. But now it's looking like, Lomachenko ain't feeling fighting Haney. Doesn't seem to be in his plans. And Lomachenko, and everybody knows that he's going for undisputed. Like, oh, well, he's going for undisputed. Well, not for his next fight. His next fight, he's talking about fighting some bum-ass kid from Australia. Fighting some unknown kid from Australia. I'm not calling him a bum. Okay, he's not a bum. He's an undefeated kid from Australia that just nobody knows, and everybody knows going to stand no chance against Lomachenko. Wouldn't stand a chance against Devin Haney either. But this is the thing, though. So, he could fight him next. There's no reason for him not to fight Haney next. And then go into this undisputed clash, if he believes this is a winnable fight. And I'm sure, again, he could go back to DZON again. I'm sure DZON will put up money for that fight too. So it's not like he wouldn't get paid for it. He'll get paid for it. I mean, like, he would get paid some good money for it. It would be a big clash. They could either have it in New York, or they could have it at the they could have it in Las Vegas. So business-wise, it makes sense. It makes financial sense. When it talks about building up your resume, building up your clout, it makes great sense. Because then you win that bout, and then you go into that undisputed bout. It makes the undisputed bout even bigger. And then after the undisputed bout, take on Tank Davis for a pay-per-view bout. Makes a lot of sense, right? But Lomachenko ain't going that route. He's like, man, that I'm about to face this nobody. I'm about to do this undisputed. Then I'm taking my ass down and fighting Stevenson at 130 pounds. I think that's what the plan actually is. So, but it was a big talk. I mean, it was very interesting when he said, like, yo, this is the only reason we signed to him. And what they're trying to figure out right now is, after he gets his undisputed bout, is he gonna fight them? Is he gonna fight them after that? And he was talking about how, because, if we can't get that bout, that's cool. We'll just go to 140. But the problem with that is, okay, if he goes to 140, why exactly would they stay on DZON? We got this Taylor fight coming in a couple of weeks. And if Taylor loses to Prograis, and Prograis skips, goes over to either Top Rank or goes to the PBC side, okay, then what does DZON have to offer when it comes to the 140 pounds? You couldn't get the Lomachenko fight. So if you couldn't get the Lomachenko fight, if Prograis is signed to Top Rank, you're not going to be able to get that fight either. If he signs to PBC Fox, and he has all these other bouts set up for him, like let's say he has an Adrian Broner fight at 140 pounds, and then he has these other bigger clashes he can do at 147, because he's talking about moving up to 147. Probably can't get that done either. So what would you have to offer him at 140? Nothing. What would you have to offer him at 135? I guess, if the belts scatter, you could go then pick up the belts. I guess then you could do that. But the only big bout that really would be at 135 would be against Gervonta Tank Davis, who you couldn't do a deal with at 130 with Tevin Farmer. So, and we know that he's not going to DZON. So literally there'll be nothing that, I mean, you could offer money, you can still do that. You know, but when it comes to, depending on what this kid wants to do as far as building up his legacy and becoming a star and not being left behind, because when you get that upfront money, at first it looks good, but then when people are passing you up, then it doesn't look so good anymore. When Tank Davis is, you know, because bout against Gamboa is going to be a big, huge fight. He does that fight in front of 15,000 plus, does 600,000 views on Showtime. Then he does another clash, and it keeps on progressing and getting bigger while you're sitting there. It's not going to seem so good anymore. Kind of like that Terrence Crawford deal seemed like it was real good with Top Rank until Earl Spence started doing pay-per-views and making $10 million plus per fight on those pay-per-views. That deal doesn't seem so good anymore. Doesn't seem like it's good anymore. You know, it seems that Eddie Hearns, man, it's a couple things he hasn't been able to do. Couldn't set up the Wilder versus Anthony Joshua fight for Undisputed, which would have been a huge clash. Couldn't set up the Tevin Farmer versus Tank. And seems to not be able to set up the Haney versus Lomachenko. So, due to all these factors, I would say don't be surprised if in the next couple of bouts, once his DZON deal is done, if Haney doesn't skip. Also, the fact that he's a promoter, is a promoter's license, and he wants to promote his fighters. But again, you're in a closed platform where you're not able to grow, and your fighters aren't able to grow because they're not being seen at all. They're putting you in the undercard of 2 YouTubers. That's where you're going to be fighting in your next fight. So, I mean, due to that, you know, I would say don't be shocked at all if Haney, once that deal with DZON is done, ends up leaving. Because some promises were made, and it seems that they're not going to be able to be kept. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.